Hello, hola, and buenas, buenas. Welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love. On tonight's episode, we'll be reacting to the LA Galaxy's 2-1 home win over Real Salt Lake on Matchday 10 for Cobi Jones' statue unveil day. We'll talk about the highs from a festive day, their controversial calls or lack thereof, what worked for LA in the win, what didn't, and talk about some fireworks in the post-match press conference. We'll be joined by a special guest, Jim Alexander, who will be here to help us break it all down. Plus, we get you caught up on MLS Matchday 10. All of that and more coming up on La Cuna Galaxiana. DJ Cito, you know what to do. G's up!
Yeah, let's get it started with a new year, new me. Una Galaxiana still reporting on the news feed, yeah. And you know who it be, the 6 stars from the jersey, putting work in the league. Word on the street, we rip teams immaculately. We see the players come and go, but I'm forever a G. And you can catch me yelling tactics on the field when I leave. Get it together like I'm Vanney when I'm giving a speech. Back to the pitch, score goals, dribbling tricks. I heard a transfer window rumor, let me see who it is. I got statistics on the player, puzzle pieces that fit. Con este show que es tan bilingüe que tu papi lo ve. Rápido pues, hablando de este club otra vez. En las buenas y en las malas, we got love for the crest, love for LA. Let's get it started, light up the stage. Every week on Monday night I'm tuning into the place. Yeah, you know what it is. Es La Cuna Galaxiana, 4th season, Rob Ananda. And my name, ya te lo sabes.
Hello, hello, and welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans out there, wherever you may be. And it is a festive time indeed, with statues and wins galore on Sundays. That's a good way to enjoy your Sunday, literally on a Sunday afternoon. That was a good song, and this was a good time to be had if you were at the digs yesterday. And thank you guys for being here tonight with us. We do appreciate it. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halone. You can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune, and you can always find me online at El Escudero de LA. And since I am here, you know that my co-host is here with me as well. You know him as El Yerno Guapo and El Gitano Perdido. And all y'all that see him catching flights out there, also known as the Cosmopolitan One, but I know him as my co-host, Anandita Kirana. Papa, ¿cómo te sentís? The Galaxy got that dub, Cobi got a statue, and it was a good day all around.
Like you said, on a Sunday afternoon, right? And man, just I guess none of us, or I guess all of us, had this on our bingo cards, huh, Rob? Just a Galaxy win, just like everyone said. Me, yourself, everyone in chat, just like we all said, a Galaxy win, right? In our match predictions on Thursday. So, jokes aside, no, I think that was a delightfully surprising win. Definitely on my end, I didn't expect. Well, let's put it this way: did I expect the scoreline? No. But I didn't expect that type of performance either, which we'll get to in a little bit, like the type of performance and everything. But Papa, let's just get into it. I might riff off of you. I have a poignant one word, but do you have one word to describe how you felt about this match?
He said a poignant one word. Ow. Okay. Yeah, no, I like Big Royce up in that press conference. He said it a couple times. He used the word dirty, and I drove home the entire, like, it's not a long drive, but like, you know, the 20 minutes that I drove home, I was sitting there thinking about that word dirty, right? And what it represents, and not like dirty in like a cheating kind of way, but there's a word in Spanish, it's maña, right? And it's kind of like tricks, like trickery, just kind of like being that savvy veteran. It's kind of like running to the corner to time waste when you're trying to get that win, trying to, you know, secure that win. Those are the things that is like mania, right? Like taking an extra second to get up to kill the clock, you know. And these aren't. I mean, some people will call it the dark arts. Some people will call it shithousery. And honestly, Marco was saying, you know, the word dirty, and I don't think the Galaxy played like physically dirty. You know, it was at points like a physical match, but I think that's kind of what he meant. Like they got to find ways to augment their own skills and take advantage of their strengths. And if that has to be playing a little dirty sometimes, then so be it. So props to them. And yeah, my one word is dirty, like Christina Aguilar.
Yeah, we'll talk about Marco's quotes. I thought that was interesting, and the context behind it, because you're right. It wasn't like dirty to like go out there and hurt someone dirty, but it was a toughness that I think we haven't seen yet in this team, and that's the way they got to win some of these games. But I'm gonna keep mine short and sweet, and I'm actually gonna, you know, reference some hack online called Ananda Galaxiana, and the one word. Yeah, some hack out there, no idea who he is, but made a poignant. I'm gonna word that that phrase again.
Yeah.
And my one word is simply Papa Cobi, because that hack said that online. He said tonight's performance, this was yesterday, was appropriate that it happened on Cobi Jones night. The G's won thanks to their grit, determination, and will to win, and yes, with a bit of luck. And we'll explore that in a little bit, but that's, you know, that is the
that's
sort of
the
heart and soul of who Cobi Jones was as a player, especially, but even as a person, as we found out. And we'll talk about that wonderful statue unveiling as well. But I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because we've got a lot to talk through. But that's that gets to my point, to be honest with you, about this game.
Yeah, and there is, you know, there's a lot to talk about besides the game, because there was that huge I guess party for Cobi, right? And you know, sidebar, you know, you and I, yes, that's a shot for you. You and I were in the elevator together on the way down to the press conference, and
right,
we just so happened we were blessed by the good Lord.
Blessings.
Blessings for sure. Blessed by the good Lord to all of a sudden wind up in an elevator with Cobi Jones, two other gentlemen that we didn't know, and like 4 security guards, or not security guards, but like redcoats from the digs.
Yep.
And as soon as he stepped in, Cobi just kind of like took a moment to himself, like shut his eyes really quickly, and just kind of
took like a deep sigh.
And
deep
you know,
breath,
it wasn't like annoyed or anything. It was just like this kind of like a contented, you know, kind of like, oh, the day's over, kind of like, you know, I get to go stretch out, and you know, like he just, I mean, he had a day. I mean, like I mean,
you asked him.
We were there.
You asked him. You told him in the elevator. I remember this distinctly. You're like, had quite the day, huh? He's like, yeah, have had quite the day.
I don't remember that. Wow.
Yeah. That was funny, and he smiled. So no, he was in good spirits for sure.
Yeah, I just remember like being like, I got to tell him about his tie, because his tie was really, really fly. So that's what I remember, is like me telling him like, hey, Cobi, I got to tell you, your tie is top notch. And it really was. It was a beautiful
I was like, who's this young up and coming, good looking reporter here? Getting the inside scoop with Cobi Jones in the elevator. There you go, Papa.
Sheesh, look at that. But it was just like a little window into the day. We'll get into it, and it'll be interesting to get Jim's kind of reaction to everything, because you know, he's just recently arrived to our shores, and so he doesn't really have the, I guess, the up close proximity to Cobi that perhaps you and I. There it is again. Oh, that's another shot for you. You and I. So I want to find out like what he made of it all, you know, and perhaps, you know, like who his Cobi Jones is, you know, because he grew up on the other side of the country. So anyway, we'll get to Jim in a little bit, and really that's the reason you guys are probably all here, because I know it's for damn sure not for Ananda and I. But if you are here, thank you for being here, and we do appreciate it. We through your help, through the grace of the good Lord, we have gotten to 850 subs. So you are definitely part of a beautiful community that somehow just felt like they wanted to hear two knuckleheads talk about the Galaxy. So we do appreciate it. Again, shout out to Big Arquitekto Verbal for the theme music, man. I'm like, I actually, Ananda, was thinking the other day about how I want to put out a poll with which season Arquitekto Verbal song is the best one, because like I said, season 4 has been growing on me so much, and I thought that he wasn't going to be able to top season 3. So anyway, maybe we'll have like a listening session with all 4 and ask you Kunedos what you think about which song is the best one out of all 4 that Big Arquitekto Verbal has helped us out with on the show for the theme music. But anyway, let's go ahead and move it along here so we can go ahead and get to our guest. Guys, we have told you that we have super chats available, so go ahead and pop in. If you got something to say, get something off your chest. If you got something to ask Jim, let us know. Hit up the super chats. Of course, if you are on X and Instagram, pop on over to YouTube, subscribe, join the party. Ananda says we are on Blue Sky. I can neither attest nor deny. Your guess is as good as mine. Ananda says it. I believe him. And there that is. One day we will get to the bottom of that. And guys, we've already told you about Miss Aitana Bonmati coming to the United States and having a camp where she will probably mold the future generation of World Cup winners here in the United States. She's running 2 camps, San Diego and Los Angeles. And at the Los Angeles camp, Ananda's going to be there volunteering as well. So, you'll also get to soak up the wisdom from his sage experience as well. Guys, there's going to be UEFA licensed coaches at this. There's going to be all skill levels are welcome, and boys and girls ages 6 to 16. We do have a special code for this. It is Lacuna26, so $50 off if you want to go ahead and send your young ones to this. More info at usaitana.bonmaticamp.com and at US Aitana Bonmati Camp on Instagram. And really quickly, getting you some announcements here from Galaxylandia, guys. I know all you wrestling heads are excited about this one. It is WWE theme night. My chief, my editor-in-chief at the Sporting Tribune, put out this tweet earlier. And Arash's tweets do numbers. So when I looked at this one earlier, I was like, damn, Arash, okay, right on. I see you got that engagement, baby. Right on. Shout out, Arash. Shout out, Sporting Tribune. So anyway, Arash says the LA Galaxy will host a WWE theme night on May 2nd. Tickets include an exclusive limited edition LA Galaxy WWE knit scarf. Fans will also have the chance to meet WWE superstar Charlotte Flair before the game against Vancouver and snap photos with the replica WWE Championship belt. This is a pretty fly scarf, man, for any wrestling fans. I know you got to get your hands on this one, man. So the meet and greet with Charlotte Flair is from 6 to 7. So make sure and get there early if you want to go ahead and do that. And you'll be able to snap photos with the championship belt as well. So go ahead and look for that. That same night, it is Filipino Heritage Night. So during AAPI month, the Galaxy will proudly celebrate Filipino Heritage Night by honoring Filipino culture and community. $5 from every ticket bought from the ticket pack goes to benefit the Philippine Independence Day Foundation. And congratulations to Marco Reus for making the MLS team of the match day. It might have something to do with the brace and, just being a general all-around badass and sitting there like a G and like, I don't like the press, but I got to be here. I think that was actually Jim's question. We'll ask him about that moment here in a moment. Anyway, really quickly wrapping up, VCFC, they lost 2-1 away to St. Louis 2. Dylan Vanney had the goal for VCFC, and now they're in third after eight games played. They're on 14 points, 3-3-2 record, 13 goals for, 10 goals against, with the +3 goal differential. Their next match is against San Jose Earthquakes 2 on Friday, May 1st at home at the Willie Roll. Yes, we're still going with that at 7 p.m. And that, I mean, I really kind of want to see that one, man, because things are trending Earthquakes right now. So yeah, I kind of want to see what their second team looks like at the moment. But Ananda, as usual, we do have an MLS roundup for the people. Are you ready?
I'm ready if you are. Hit it.
I mean, I guess I kind of have to be. I kind of threw it out there. I kind of announced it already. So here it is. Here is your MLS roundup. Match day 10. Atlanta United beat Toronto away from home 2-1. Montreal got the 1-0 home win over NYCFC to make it 2 wins in a row. LAFC beat Minnesota away from home by a similar scoreline. Columbus got the 2-0 shutout win over Philly at home behind Max Arfson's good form. Cincinnati versus the Red Bull saw Cincy take a 2-0 home win powered by a Kevin Denke brace. Austin beat Houston 2-0 in a Copa Tejas match. DC United beat Orlando City 3-2. Inter Miami and New England played to a 1-1 draw. Nashville continued to roll with a 4-2 dismantling of SKC, led by 2 goals by Sam Surge. San Jose kept pace with a 3-2 away win that saw former Galaxy player Preston Judd score and a Timo Werner brace. Portland scored an injury time winner to keep the hard times going for San Diego with a 2-1 away win. Seattle took out Dallas 2-1 at home. Vancouver beat Colorado 3-1 behind a Brian White brace, and Chicago embarrassed SKC at home 5-0 with both Philip Zingernego and Hugo Hoopers scoring a brace. We're going to talk to Jim about that here in a moment. Your league leaders are San Jose and Nashville. And before we get to Jim, I feel like it's a good time to remind you that you'll only know when we have amazing guests like Jim and like people's in the back catalog like Tommy Boger and Sophie Nicolau, and even people's like Galaxy GM Will Kuntz and the aforementioned Preston Judd, who was here a couple of years ago. You'll know when they're on if you subscribe. I promise. We'll let you know. But anyway, like the homie Rally G says, hit the likes, not la pipa. And without further ado, we go to a new friend and hopefully a friend of the show. We're pleased to be joined for the first time. Like I mentioned, a recent arrival to our shores, a man that's covered MLS from afar for a minute now by covering the Chicago Fire and also the NWSL Chicago Stars. He is the founder of Real Talker, a platform for film, entertainment, and sports. And now he's in Los Angeles. He is the newest member of the Galaxy Press Corps. Please welcome Jim Alexander. Jim, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
That's the best intro I ever got. I mean, I hope it's getting 100 real soon, but they're not coming to subscribe for me. That's for sure.
Bro, that's cap. Like I actually saw your Instagram photo and I was like, damn, Blood looks like a model, dog. Like, Ananda, you got that somewhere?
Yeah, I got to pull it up. I don't have it in the I don't have it in the deck, but
it is class. I was like, damn, okay, GQ. All right, I like it. Right on.
I mean, this is not the this is the wake up version or go to bed version. So I should have dressed up more for the fan base, but it's later at night, so we're just gonna shoot the stuff about the Galaxy and MLS.
Yeah, so, we're just gonna shoot the shit. I mean, but on the real man, in that photo, you got blue steel going. I was like, all right. I mean. But if you buy me a drink first, I guess. Shit. I mean, why not? But
I wish it was. I mean, I'm in LA now, so let's see if that works on anyone. But
hey, well, who knows? Maybe you'll meet somebody while you're covering at a Galaxy game, and you know what? Galaxy fans are good people, so I'm sure you'll be taken care of. I
have a dating profile, and I had a LAFC chick hit me up, so clearly didn't work out.
Oh man, well, Galaxy fans, if you're out there and you have a Prima, go ahead and shout out at Jim, and maybe something will happen. But Jim, you're gonna have to update us on that if something actually does happen. Making love connections
straight up for sure.
Oh man, this show's popped off in the right note. This is gonna be great.
Exactly. Well, Jim, like I said, thanks for being here, man. You have covered MLS, you know the league, and now you're covering the Galaxy here. You've been with us for a couple months now. We do something here on this show. We actually kind of gave you a heads up about it yesterday, called One Word Reaction. So go ahead and give us your one word reaction to the Galaxy's 2-1 home win yesterday.
Struggle. I mean, they make it harder than it should be, always. I think Greg said after a game, you could have put that game away. I kept on looking over and talking to Damien, and I was sitting next to him, and I was like, dude, this halftime, it should have been 3-0, like easily, at least 2-0 at worst. And here we are tied, and it was looking bad at the start of the second half. So they just struggle they make it hard on themselves. I feel like,
Absolutely.
in games like that, you got to put stuff away. You got to put these teams away when you had them on the ropes, and you just let RSL come back in the second half and give them life. So for me, it was just like the struggle. Don't make it hard on yourselves, guys.
Yeah, I think it was my co-host a couple weeks ago that said at the moment the Galaxy we're drawing against somebody, and Ananda goes, man, they got to work so hard just to get a point at home, and it's true, right? And even in wins, like it's a struggle, but that's I'm going to try to choose to be positive because it was a win, and of course we're gonna break down the good and the bad. But before we get there, Jim, since it's your first time here, háblame de ti. Tell me about you. Let's go ahead and break down you, right?
All right.
Like I said, to the Cuneros out there, Jim is just here to LA. So y'all send him, your best taco recommendations, your best sites recommendations. So go ahead and hit him up. Let him know what's good about LA. Besides
there
pretty
you
much
go.
everything. But what's been
been
your
hit me up
biggest
with some
adjustment,
good food
man?
spots.
Oh, all
Food
day.
spots, because Chicago is a food city, man. I'll tell you what, it's still number one on my list. So, but LA's it's gaining on me. I think you guys have a good variety of different foods from a lot of different places. So that's a good thing. The variety is good here. But I need that chef's kiss when it comes to a certain place or a certain food to try that it will make me say LA's number one.
Well, you know what? To be honest, Dona Nandita here has taken me to a couple of good spots, and recently, for his birthday, we had a killer paella and tomahawk. Shout out Teleferic. And
Okay.
man, it was tasty, Jim. We're gonna have to do that, and we're also gonna have to take you on a taco crawl. But
there you go. I'm ready for that. Hell yeah! And don't give me the LA. Okay, we're on the LA Galaxy theme. I'm good with the LA Galaxy pizza that they're rolling out. I mean, I know good pizza. I like to say that thing. Like, I think I asked in the press room, like, is this like a taco pizza or something? I think you guys were the ones that corrected me on that. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. Just stick to like a taco. That would have been better, probably. That pizza just was a miss. But hey, maybe the fans love it. So this is an outsider's view.
yeah, it was a first time for me for sure. Well, you're not a fan of the pizza, but that actually brings me to my next question. Well, what's been the biggest adjustment moving from Chicago to Los Angeles?
Actually waking up and seeing the sun, man. I haven't seen the sun in like 3 months before I moved here, bro. It's just dark and rainy, and like you wake up in a gloomy and cold, freezing cold way too. So man, I get to wake up and wear shorts this time of year. Come on, that's like, I'm still adjusting to that. That's wild to see sun in the morning, because in the Midwest, you don't see that till summer, and you get like 3 months of some days of sun and nice weather. Other times it's just miserable.
What's something about LA, man, that has kind of exceeded your expectations? You're like, wow, like I could stay here forever because of this, and something that maybe hasn't, that kind of was hyped up for you, and you were like, this is whatever.
I think what would make me want to, you know what? I actually like the accessibility of sports in this town, man. You have your variety and pickings. You have 2 NBA teams. You got 1.5 MLB teams. You have 2 NFL teams, and you have 2 soccer teams.
Oh man.
So, there's a game any night, and it's pretty affordable to go to games here. Like, it's way expensive to go in Chicago. Like, you're not getting into anything like a Bulls game or Bears game. You're not getting in under like $150 to the nosebleed. So, like, here, when you can get into like games and see sports, I think that's like, as a sports lover, like, that's awesome. Like, you can see a sports event any night here, and get a ticket. So that's a pretty cool thing. Because in Midwest, people live and breathe sports. Like, you are just filling up the stadium every week because that's the only thing you have to do. Literally, you're going to a bar, you're going to a game. That's it.
Well, we have a couple comments in chat right here. The folks are trying to bless you here. Katu Nightmare says Gino's east of Chicago and Coldwater Canyon and Riverside Drive in the Valley. If you miss deep dish pizza, he also said he or she, I'm not sure. I lived in Chicago during the winter. I didn't know negative 20 degrees is possible in nature. Damn, that's harsh. And then
Sir Dave, negative 35, says, brother, this winter. Negative 35.
That's filthy. Sir Dave says Chi-Town in Glendora has legit deep dish. Nobody should be trying to do anything at negative 35. That is just redonky. But
dude, the dog doesn't want to pee in that weather.
No. Why would they? No, why? Like,
they don't want to be out there.
But be real. Do you miss it?
Part of it, yeah. I mean, my friends and family's still there, so I'm still kind of new to just like trying to meet people and make friends. And you guys were super. One thing I really enjoy, I'll say this about the Galaxy reporters, everyone's super chill. Like, everyone's friendly and welcome, and like that was like the one takeaway. In Chicago, I'm gonna throw some on some of my fellow reporters. Some of them we don't get along. You know what I mean? Like, on the beat, like, just some dudes, like you like respect them and like, okay, but you're not hanging out with them. Like, I feel like here everyone's like super fun and cool and just like respectful of each other. So there's that.
Oh no, man. I mean, it's definitely a very eclectic crew, and everybody's is really fun and nice, like you said. And there's a healthy respect if you've kind of like put in your time from, because I mean, some of these guys have been covering the team for like a good long while, so if they see you around for a couple seasons, then they'll be like, all right, you're okay, like you're all right, guy. What's the biggest difference day to day in covering a team versus a team out here on the West Coast versus the Midwest?
It's fairly similar with the MLS, like rules wise, like you can attend practice and the virtual stuff, but like, dude, those Chicago Fire outdoor practices in March, hell no. The players are miserable, brother. Like, Berhalter had them out there and they were just waiting to go back inside. They have a dome outside too, but like, as media, it's like blowing wind. You're trying to do like some interviews, catch some like, quotes and stuff, but it's like you don't want to be there outside. So here, I imagine like going in, it's all nice and easy. Plus, you know what I'll say this, like, I was covering a team that played at an NFL stadium. It's a different experience than having a soccer specific stadium, because 15,000 at Dignity Sports Health Park is different than 15,000 at Soldier Field. You can't hear them. Like, it looks like it's no one's there. But here, you feel the stadium, you feel the fans. I feel the atmosphere in LA is much better because they have soccer specific stadiums. The Fire will have one in 2 years, but that's a big drawback. I feel like the MLS teams are in NFL stadiums. like even if you have 15,000, it feels like you have like 5. You know, you just don't hear them. You don't feel that impact. So I feel like that's the biggest like sort of thing you get in a press box. You feel it, you see it, and you hear it.
Yeah, you certainly feel those drums when the supporter groups are going at the digs, right? Like the
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, you kind of spoke about the atmosphere a little bit, and having to do with the stadiums and stuff like that. But overall, how would you compare the expectations of Galaxy fans versus Fire fans? Like for example, like Galaxy fans expect that title every year, and it's damn near a revolt and a revolution every year when it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's an interesting comparison because like I still cover the Fire. Like I'm still on their Zoom calls and everything. They know like, okay, you're not the LA guy also, but I'm still the reporter for them too. So I'm getting like two perspectives. Um, it's weird because this team in Chicago didn't make the playoffs for about 7 years. And when Berhalter came, it was like there's just no expectation. There's a fandom, but it was dead because that team has been losing and losing and losing. And he gave him a spark last year. Like finally they were winning games and they made the playoffs. So I was like, ooh, now they're in it in the East. They're legitimately a top contender, I feel like. And now you're seeing the soccer culture sort of come out of the dead, basically rise up. In LA, I feel like they're almost too hard. Like we hear the stuff about Vanney, how the fans are hard on him and stuff. But like I was thinking this after the game last night, like, is he the last coach to in the last 5 years to win an MLS Cup that's in the league right now? Because Mascherano's gone. You have Cherundolo gone. Like you look at and Wilfred Nancy's gone. Like I think Greg is the only one in the last 5 years that's in the league right now. So yes, they had a bad year last year, but dude, you won this title sooner than LAFC. Okay, so let's look that way too. And and Vanney was at the helm of that too. So I feel like they need to cut him a little bit of slack. You lost your best player twice with an ACL 2 years in a row. I feel like he knows what he's doing. Not only do I personally like Greg, but I feel like he's the right man for this job. So I feel like the expectations are a little bit too high. People need to sort of look at what they're dealing with injury wise, and I think they'll come to their own. I think really that, not to say that it's good to be eliminated in CONCACAF Champions Cup, but I think for this team it was good because they really need to catch up in that league, and I think that's going to serve them better going forward.
So interesting hearing it from someone from the outside that doesn't live in our Galaxy bubble, right? Just the outsider's perspective. So, no, it's super interesting, man.
Well, I was going to say, damn it, Jim, you spoke positively about Greg Vanney. We're gonna get canceled now. It's all your fault. I mean, the pitchforks are gonna come out. I'm just saying what's gonna happen. Everybody's gonna come at us, and they're gonna be like, "No, what do you Vanney apologists?
Send them over to me, Rob, because I'll make a case for Vanney because I think what the fans are missing, they don't see the day-to-day that we see. And the thing about it is that the guy knows the game. Like I've been around coaches, man. I'll credit Berhalter too for this. There's certain coaches. I know people. Hey, listen, I've dealt with this too. People hated Berhalter after the national stint too. And when he came into the Fire, like, oh man, what are we getting here? And I learned to really appreciate him and his knowledge. And I think Greg has the same thing, both Gregs. But Vanney's got the same thing. He knows the game well. He's a tactician. And I think with him, when he speaks about the game, it's a guy that's speaking from real knowledge. It's not like you have some clown in there that just, that's putting out lineups and stuff. This guy really, I always think this, you replace Vanney, cool. Who are you bringing in that's better than him? Who are you bringing that's actually better than him right away from the get-go? I don't think it would be easy thing to do. I think sometimes we don't appreciate the things that we have until they're gone. And I think that's what would be with Vanney. I think this team would go backwards if they were to fire him. So I think that's sort of this thing. Sometimes you see the results as a fan and you have this visceral sort of reaction. But remember, as bad as last season was, the previous season, you held up the cup.
Well, now we're definitely getting canceled. Thanks, Jim.
Hey, let's get to 900 subscribers first.
Hey,
boys.
you know what? You know
exactly,
what?
Jim. Thank you.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that'll help us to get to 900 subscribers. But no, man. But like, it's like we can't be an echo chamber too, right? So it's just interesting. Like again, Jim is coming at this from the complete outsider's perspective. I mean, he's basically a neutral in all this. So
yeah.
And now you've been in a couple press conferences now. You've probably been working with the organization for like a month, or at least covering the organization for like a month or so. Look, man, I think the results will speak for themselves. And so this is something we'll have to track over the next year and, into the World Cup break and beyond. So we'll see.
Jim, I want to get your perspective on all the festivities yesterday, right? Because like I mentioned, for myself anyway, I don't know how it was for Ananda. I'm not going to speak for him, but like one of the main reasons I grew up a Galaxy fan was because El Tanque Hurtado was their main striker in their first year, and he was Ecuadorian and I'm Ecuadorian. So, but I mean, my second or third favorite player was Cobi. Like he just always captivated the imagination. He was, on Team USA, and he was an American hero. He was a California boy, and I loved that as well. And for me, it was a big day. I'm gonna go ahead and be really honest. Like I actually missed the statue unveiling. Like I was, not fortunate enough to be there. I just didn't make it in time, but Ananda was there, and so I'll definitely ask him questions as well. But for you who weren't in close proximity to Cobi Jones, or not seeing him, like on your local TV station, watching the Galaxy and stuff like that, what was this day like? Like, was it, did you feel its impact? I mean, did you see like all the Galaxy fans walking around and go, meh, or did you kind of like feel the weight of the moment?
I missed it, man. The traffic and I still getting to. I missed that ceremony, and I missed the scrum with him. But when I walked into that stadium, you see those old school throwback Galaxy jerseys and Jones, just all on the back of it. I mean, the fans really showed out. I feel like it was really appropriate the way they honored him. I thought he did a really good job. That statue looks fantastic. Actually, that's probably the best captured statue right there. It looks cool. It's sort of, I feel like that's the best statue that they have. And when I think of Cobi, you think of the dreadlocks flying, a happy guy, a sort of, a guy that really, you think of Galaxy, and Greg said it yesterday, it's him. Like, yeah, Donovan will get the acclaim because of, the national team, Beckham because of the international thing, but this is the soul of this organization. He was there from day one. He was the original MLS guy, too. So if there's anyone that deserved this match, I think first, it should have been Cobi probably. But I'm glad that he got his moment. It was so cool that I wish we got bobbleheads, damn it. But that they had the bobblehead of the actual statue, which was awesome. It wasn't just like a regular bobblehead.
I'm bummed I didn't get this one, man.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I was standing there. Honestly, I got through the media gate. I'm standing around. I'm like, are they going to hand me one maybe by accident? And the dude comes over, is like, only paid ticket holders, get out. And I'm like,
I got the same thing. I got the same thing.
I'm with Lex on this one. Anyone? I got a Donovan bobblehead. Anyone wants to trade with me?
Yeah,
it's a great bobblehead. It's a unique bobblehead because like no one.
I got an extra 2024 ring. Who wants to trade? Just let me know. we can make something happen.
Like throw us a bone sometimes. You know what I mean? Give us a bobblehead. This is cool. Like we were all like, especially you, Rob, like being a childhood fan of this guy and seeing him really rise up to it. It'd be cool to sort of have that monument, even for us. They can spare us a few bobbleheads. So I mean, like they should consider that.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, man, is that like, I grew up watching him, and everybody knows that I have a deep love and affection for Joe Tutino, longtime voice of the Galaxy, legendary. He's one of the reasons I'm sitting in the seat. But Cobi and Joe were longtime partners, And so when I started covering the Galaxy, I remember like it was like my first game, and I go to the bathroom, and then like I walk out, and Cobi was standing like right there, like waiting for the bathroom. I was like, right, and it was like my first or second game covering, and I just was like, oh, and then I was like in my head, I was like, oh my god, I hope I left the bathroom clean. I don't want him to think less of me. Like it was like, anyway, so like he was, you know, a kind of like a big deal, even like when I was first covering the Galaxy, you know, because I would see him everywhere in the stadium, you know, because he was still working, you know, day to day there. And but you know, I asked him a question at the media scrum that, you know, kind of years later this moment has stayed with me. When I was a Cobi reporter, I got invited to a Latinos in Journalism panel event in which there was a lot of different, you know, civic leaders there, you know, CEOs and CFOs of Fortune 500 companies, you know, and one of the folks there was Cobi Jones, and I'll never forget to this day that you know, I asked him yesterday, you know, you basically told us, you know, not to limit our dreams. What do you have left to accomplish? Like what dream in soccer do you have left to accomplish? But you know, what stuck with me, man, is that yes, I gave you like the synthesized version of what he said, but you know, now that I have the time to expand on it a little bit, like this man was sitting there, and you know, he was speaking to a room of minority journalists, and he was letting them know, you know, it's not enough, or you know, don't limit your dream to just be the head coach, or you know, the general manager of a team. You know, like aspire, you know, to be an owner, aspire to be you know, a commissioner of a league, or something like that. You know, that it is possible. And you know, a couple years later, we see that Cobi himself is part owner of Angel City. And you know, that moment always stuck with me, man, because he, you know, was basically saying, you know, look at me, I had so much in my way, and you know, I was able to make it. So you know, no, strive, and really, I feel like that's a good way to segue into this match, because Cobi was brought up a lot before the match, and he was brought up post match as well. I mean, I think Greg even said that it was a Cobi type of win, and so yes, let's move now on over to this LA Galaxy versus RSL match recap, and we will go ahead and start where we all start, with this starting lineup. But before we do, Big Lex, what up, brother?
Lex
With the super chat, thank you so much. He says, in order, who are your next 3 statues? Cheers, guys. I feel like this one might not be fair for Jim, unless you know, like, the Galaxy really well. And oh, okay, Robbie, right on. Do you have your next one after Robbie?
Maybe, I don't know if it's statue worthy, and he's a Chicago guy, so I'm biased, and I know him actually. Mike McGee was MVP, right?
Oh, I love McGee, man. McGee's on fire, baby. Yeah, right on. I like it. Okay, so we got 2. Who would be your third?
Let's see. I don't know. I think you'd have to dig deeper into the Galaxy lore for like a third. It would have to be someone who served a while. It doesn't have to be the greatest player. I think it's got to be the best ambassador. Like, I don't know about Zlatan. I don't think he was here long enough. You know, to do anything like that. He had a short. He came and gone. Like, he had a nice impact, but I wouldn't put a statue for him. We're talking about like impact. I think Robbie Keane was like the glue of those Donovan and Beckham teams. Like, he held it together. And I feel like Robbie Keane is like an unsung hero for those years. And yeah, I thought Mike McGee, you like have an MVP, and you're sort of, yeah, you might not be the flashiest name, but man, was he productive, you know? that's a guy I would consider too. But yeah, going into pass, I don't know. You guys would have to help me out with that one to think who really
Yeah.
was here long
Well,
term to
we'll have a chat help you out there.
Yeah.
Jim. There's
Wait,
what's up?
Wait. I want to call attention to that particular comment that you brought up. My
Which
boy
one?
Nightmare said Leonardo at the end of that one. Okay. I maybe there's like a personal connection there that you just really love the guy. But go ahead, Anand, take it away.
No, I mean, there's obviously a lot of shouts for Robbie Keane. Lex answered this himself, said Keane, Joe Totino, Bruce, or Siggy.
I like it.
I love those names. A lot of CNs.
Yeah.
There's a Jorge Campos shout.
CN,
as
man.
well.
That would be a good one.
That would be one too. I mean, thinking about what he did for
Siggy.
that community as well.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of like,
yeah, if you want to put a coach in, for sure. I mean, Bruce is kind of weird because now he's, he's on top of the table, this team. But yeah, that would be a good one, I'd say.
What Galaxy fans, what a blessing it is to be able to have this discussion and even have entertain, who is our next statue, like which team legend should be our next statue. Let's go ahead and head on over to this next super chat from the homie Leo. Yes, you should be honored. They're naming you as one of the Galaxy legends that gets to be a statue next. Immortalized in bronze, sir. Leo says, grew up watching Cobi during the World Cup while I was in junior high. Then finding out that he was going to be a part of MLS as an LA Galaxy was great. To watch him grow the league and the impact he had. Chat, y'all want some chisme? I don't know if this is known, but Cobi let us know yesterday. Jim, you mentioned that you didn't make it to the scrum. So when Cobi was talking about like the many challenges he faced, among them he was talking about how like he only made the national team because somebody got injured. He only even made like the UCLA team because like two people were like didn't show up. Like there was like a bunch of different instances where this man should not have made it and he did, right? But one of the most interesting ones in his journey is that he only arrived to the LA Galaxy because two other players passed on coming here. Mm-hmm. And when they went to Cobi, he was like, of course I want to go back home. And he came to play for the Galaxy, and the rest is history. So whoever those two players are, thank you. We very much appreciate it. You did your thing. You made it possible for Cobi to come here and get his statue. So again, shout out to you, whoever you two players are. But let's go back to this LA Galaxy versus RSL match. Let's see here. We were talking about a starting lineup, and it was a starting lineup that kind of surprised a little bit, or at least it surprised me a little bit. But Jim, what did you see in this one? There was, some usuals missing, like Cerrillo and Winder, and we had a couple of surprises, like Glesnes being back in the starting lineup. But overall, thoughts?
I think that was one of their stronger lineups. I mean, right now, the problem is going to be how do you replace a striker that was on fire in João Klaus, who was really, like I mentioned in the post game, that, he's got size and sort of that presence that now you're not going to have. So that's sort of a tinkering lineup. But I thought they brought out a pretty good lineup. That they could field, really, considering especially that this team hasn't had a break either, in a while. So like, who's healthy, who's available, who's fit. And I thought they put a pretty strong lineup. So I had no problem with that. And obviously at goal, I think we know now we sort of stabilized on JT. So that's not a surprise anymore, but I thought it was a good lineup.
Ananda, you, every game, you tell me a variation of Sanabria's got to be in here, man. Sanabria, see, did you see that tackle Sanabria made? Sanabria this, Sanabria that. So I thought it would be appropriate if perhaps El Uruguayo, who was playing against his brother and rose to the occasion, really, is our player spotlight. So, Ananda, take it away.
Yeah. And look, I mean, I guess there's like a Lucas Sanabria agenda online too. So I'm just gonna add to it. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I mean, look,
Is there now?
yeah, there is a bandwagon right now going on for Lucas. Shout out Dylan and COC Network guys. So they are leading the charge there. But anyways, look, man,
you mean we're gonna be on a show with them pretty soon?
Yeah,
Shameless
yeah.
plug?
Yeah, that shameless plug. We'll plug that at the end too. If you guys haven't had enough of us today, we'll be on COC Network tomorrow with those boys. But anyway, so no, man. I think that Lucas Sanabria should be part of this midfield three. If Greg, doesn't play a two-man midfield system, he adds one of the big misses from the Galaxy from the 2024 season. Yes, Ricky. Yes, Dayon. But Mark Delgado, they have not been able to replace the underrated things that Mark Delgado brought to this team. Greg always called him the great equalizer, right? And whether it's being at the right positions, whether it's having the three lungs to make a lung busting run to have a saving tackle and to help one of his defenders or his teammates, he always knew where to be and he always made winning plays. And I think
recoveries is crazy.
And I think that's what Lucas is. I think that's what Will Kuntz saw in Lucas Sanabria when he signed him, is a guy to fill in those shoes, because those are some big shoes to fill, because he has very similar attributes. And if you look at the stat sheet from this 90 minutes, I'm going to start on the right for a second. I mean, nothing there really jumps out. 2 chances created, not bad. 0.32 expected goal involvement. Got jumped into the attack in moments, but like he's not the guy that's necessarily going to, even though he scored a goal in Columbus, not the actual guy that's probably going to take the final action in most cases. But, if you look at what this midfield is already, Rob, which is a couple of guys that are really technically good, guys like Cerrillo, guys like Marco Reus, you have to balance that with a guy that can cover a lot of ground, win duels, win challenges, and bring something different to this team. And that's Lucas Sanabria. You look at those tackles, led the team in tackles with 5 as a midfielder, by the way. Led the team in recoveries, led the team in duels 1, at least as a midfielder with 8. He won all of his duels, Papa. And what was the one thing that Marco, Greg, we heard this a lot in the press conference, which is in Columbus, they didn't feel like Greg specifically said that they didn't feel like they won enough of their individual battles. Lucas Sanabria, though, is one of those guys that tends to win more of his individual battles than not. And going back to like the Bruce Arena school of thought, right? You win your duels, you have a good shot of winning the game, and that's the number one priority. And that's Lucas Sanabria. That's something that I don't think any of the other midfielders bring. Maybe Justin Hack, we're seeing a little bit of it, but Lucas Sanabria is the guy that brings that toughness, that grit, that willingness to get stuck in. That's Lucas Sanabria.
Are we starting to see this preferred lineup take shape with Glesnes in the back and Hack in the midfield with Sanabria? Who knows? We'll talk about that maybe Thursday when we do our Vancouver preview. But Ananda, you alluded to it. Lucas Sanabria was instrumental in this win. And for those of you that didn't see it, for those of you stuck underneath a rock, the Galaxy beat RSL, a surging RSL team that was the talk of MLS, and took them down at home 2-1. There is some controversy around this one, which we'll get to, but the Galaxy did start well. Marco Reus opened the scoring with the free kick in the 9th minute. Shout out Simon that I sat next to at the game. He was with the LA Sports Commission, and I told him, you know what, man, you're gonna want to get out your phone because Royce is gonna hit a banger right now. Dicho y hecho, papá. Este hombre, man, just perfectly placed. Could do nothing about it. Cabral could do nothing about it, and Galaxy lead 1-0. But unfortunately, the Galaxy's old enemy themselves popped up yet again, just like Jim said. They were very, very wasteful. It should have been up. a couple of goals, and they couldn't put them away, and RSL would make them pay because a just really like a fluke shot goes in off JC. Sorry, I can't talk right now. JT Marcinkowski, and goes into the goal just before halftime for the tie. It's 1-1, and kind of, they go into halftime. I mean, I really question whether they'd be able to pick themselves up after that moment. Well, it wasn't like they came out and set the world afire, but they also did not concede. Neither team was able to get a goal until the late moments when Elijah Winder was brought down in the box. This one was another one of those controversial moments in the game, but Marco Reus steps up and hits a perfect penalty, and he gets the win for the Galaxy 2-1. And, speaking of this controversy that I've been talking about here, I'm just gonna kind of ask you both. I mean, this moment here with Winder at the end is a penalty. There's another moment at the beginning of the game, or maybe in the first half, I believe. Was it in the first half? But it was in the first half because Glesnes is involved in it. Glesnes gets beat, and Garces comes to try to save his bacon. Unfortunately, he takes down the RSL player, and RSL players are incensed when nothing is called. Does get checked, and nothing gets called on Garces. Ananda, I want to ask you your reaction, because I want you to kind of think back on your reaction in those moments. But Jim, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah.
I mean, one is called a penalty, one is not. What are your thoughts on both?
Which one? The one Big Victor got taken down? Is that the one we're talking about?
In the first half. Yep.
Listen, I said that, I think to Scott French to the left, I'm like, the only reason they didn't call it, if this guy was regular sized player, because he's a giant, he's a big man, big, powerful, physical man, that's a foul every day. I think it went against him that he is the size that he is, that he's a big, imposing figure, that he didn't get that call. Because otherwise, I'm telling you, if it's a smaller guy, any other guy, they get that call because it looked like a takedown. I feel like that should have been a foul. Since he's so physical, he's so big in that sense, and the defender looks small next to him, I just thought the referee was like, you know what? It takes a lot more to take this guy down. So he didn't get the benefit of doubt, but I thought it should have been actual penalty. It looked to me like he sort of swung him around or had his arm on him.
Anandita, do you remember your reaction?
I thought it was a pen right away, but maybe you can remind me if there was some
that's bang on right there. I mean,
I thought it was a pen right away.
You did say, I mean, that's going to get called.
It's
you said,
you
said,
like,
nah, that's going to get called.
Well, because it's also like reputations precede themselves. So Garces has that reputation. I mean, if the call was this basically the other way, going the other way against NYCFC in game 1 in opening day, it was a very, very similar play, right? And so I don't know. Again, maybe like chat saying they'll be for the ref, but I think the Galaxy definitely got away with one. Figuring who it was, and by the way, really unfortunate for Glesnes, that was an end characteristic mistake. That I think that was a sign that, hey, he's still a little bit rusty. He still needs a few minutes under his belt, and the problem surfaced from there. And Garces, to his credit, he was trying to back his teammate. He was trying to cover up the mistake. But yeah, I was very, very surprised. I was holding my breath there as soon as I went to VAR, but the G's got lucky. And you know what? Fair play to them, because yes, they made it harder on themselves, like Jim said, and at the top of the show, but they did get the 3 points. And at the end of the day, no one's going to remember. They're just going to see 2-1 Galaxy over RSL.
I like Nightmare's comment here. Nightmare, you're on a roll tonight, man. Gotta say, this is one of the players I tell my therapist about. That's donk.
Yeah, and he's already got his defending the badge, the ref. So I'm with you on that.
I mean, he's throwing out, his defending the badge already. We will ask you about this as well, Jim. So, maybe start thinking about defending the badge here. But some notables here from this match to tell you about. Captain Marco Reus, and somebody that speaks German one day is going to have to tell me if I heard somebody pronounce it Rus the other day, like Rus, and I was like, is that actually how you say it? I'm not sure. So somebody go ahead and school me on my German. Yes, shout out Gunner. So he scored his 9th and 10th league goals for the Galaxy. And he also scored his first penalty for the Galaxy. That's pretty incredible because he's been in here a couple of years. So he later said that he just felt like it was his moment to go ahead and take the responsibility, and he did. We spoke about Jakob Lessons returning to the starting 11 for the first time in 8 matches. Chris Rindolph, who had been out injured for a time during the start of the season, made his debut as well at the end of the game. The Galaxy, we've been telling you about this streak that kind of really doesn't mean anything, but it also kind of means that at least they're generating some kind of offense. They extended their scoring streak to 19 consecutive matches with Marco Reus' brace. That's the longest active scoring streak in the league. We did mention that the Sanabrias played against each other in this game. Lucas and Juan Manuel went up against each other, and that is the first time in their professional careers that they play against each other. So shout out to them. I'm sure they will remember that occasion. Ananda, what is the one key stat that informed this win?
Well, I'll give the box score rundown first. Let me pull it up for all the audio listeners. And let me just run through the stats. I'm not sure if there was one key one, but there was definitely, let's just say, an array of them. I think that it kind of points to the theme of what I've been talking about with like the whole idea around Cobi and the grit and all that stuff. So, but box score here. So Salt Lake with more possession. Rob, I think that's a couple games in a row now that we've seen the other team have possession. Although in this particular case, the Galaxy did get the scoreline that they wanted. So 54% to the Galaxy's 46%. Shots pretty even, 16-15 to the Galaxy, 7 shots on target for the Galaxy, 9 for Salt Lake. So again, good goalkeeping, bad finishing. This could have been a high-scoring game. I think we called that there was going to be a lot of goals in this game. Ended up being 2-1. Again, Salt Lake controlled most of the passing. They controlled most of the momentum in terms of possession. But again, you look at those expected goals, Rob, 2.6 for the Galaxy to Real Salt Lake's 1.7. The Galaxy did have the better of the chances, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. They spurned quite a bit of them, but I think this is where the game was won. And I think this is where the game was won and lost. And this is something that Greg alluded to. This is something that Marco alluded to. But my one key stat, or in this case, stats, Rob, is the Galaxy won all the hustle stats. Right, we hear that a lot in basketball and some of the other sports, but I look at these things defensively. The Galaxy, 23 tackles to RSL's 15, 12 interceptions to RSL's 5, 25 clearances to the RSL's 16, 8 big saves by JT Marcinkowski to Cabral, who had 4. By the way, JT Marcinkowski, for me, is an unsung hero in this game. He kept the Galaxy in the game. And what did we say about goalkeepers, Rob? They don't have to do anything spectacular, but if they need to come up with a big save, they do. And JT did that on multiple times. But again, you know, the Galaxy, I look at this and it was like it's almost like they took Cobi Jones night like to heart. You know, they sort of drew on the essence and the soul of Cobi Jones, which was like drive and passion, determination. Yes, he had the talent, but it was all about the work rate. It was all about the determination to win. And you look at some of those stats, and I think sometimes, like Marco said, you do have to play dirty at some points in certain situations to win the game. It doesn't always have to be pretty, but the determination and the effort always has to be there 100%. And I think the Galaxy, whether it was, you know, the presence of Cobi Jones and what it meant for the organization that day, they definitely seemed like they took it to heart, and they had to have a little Cobi to win this match.
No, they definitely did, and you know, everybody kind of mentioned it. That it was even mentioned in the lead up. But you know, there's all these themes that went into it, and playing like Cobi. You know, Marco said, you know, they had to play a little bit dirty. Speaking of Marco, Jim, we're looking at a Marco now who scored a brace, who has 4 goals and 3 assists for the Galaxy this year. This is a man who's 37, who's kind of been carrying this team, most consistent player this season so far. Certainly, he's been the talisman. Does he need to be the talisman for this Galaxy team to be successful? Or, I mean, can they rely on somewhere else?
No, they do. Right now with Klaus out, like who else? I mean, Peck is sort of up and down. Sometimes he would just go off for 3 goals, but then he'll disappear, you know? Joe Payne still like he's just coming back. We don't know how long it's gonna take for him to find the form and be that consistent thing. So listen, Royce should be taking penalty kicks now. He should be taking all the free kicks right now. Like, I get it. He's had a ton of injuries in his career, and yes, he's up there in age, but he has moments of what I call a professional footballer, and that's what he had last night. Cool, calm, and collected. And he just there's ice in his veins, and there's just guys that don't have that. There's a reason he's on that level, that top class level, because he's a true definition of a professional footballer, a guy that knows the moment, understands what it takes, and is cool and calm in it. That's what you need. And he stepped up twice and really delivered. So they're going to need more scoring from him. Actually, they're going to probably need him to take more of an offensive role too. And yeah, at least until the transfer market or until Klaus comes back, I think he's going to have to be at the forefront of it.
Rob, there was a couple of moments from the presser that stood out to me. One, you're going to tee up in a second, but the second one for me was besides answering Jim's question about I'm okay with the press. I'm not a big fan of this, but it's my job. He answered Alec. Yeah, he's honest for sure. Alex Ruiz asked him a question about being the hero of the match. And his first 3 words, I don't care. I don't care. And I think that savviness, like the understanding of what it takes, Jim just said it, what it takes to win. There's certain situations that call for certain things. Right now, the Galaxy are in a period where they need to be a little nasty. They need to be a little dirty, because sometimes that getting outplayed like they did in Columbus, that's all far too often. You never want to be that as the foundation. And so like Marco just understands what it takes, right, in certain situations. And Rob, that's such an invaluable thing. And I think with JP coming back from injury, with Peck being in and out of form, Marco's got to take the reins on this team, at least for the next, up until the World Cup break. And then you see what happens after that.
Well, I mean, again, this man is 37. We've seen what happens when he gets ground into the ground. He breaks down, and it's not a knock on him. It's just like what naturally happens when you use someone that much. Fortunately, the Galaxy aren't
1 game a week now
playing two competitions anymore. But so that's the only thing I would counsel, right, is that an over reliance on Marco is admirable for him to step up like that, but other players need to step up too, because he's, again, 37. He's Father Time is not beaten. And it's interesting, because I asked Jim to start thinking about a defending the badge candidate, but Ananda, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I think I have a defending the badge candidate as well. And it's not who you think it might be. And it all stems from a moment yesterday in the press conference where our colleague, the lady Sophie Nicolau, asked Greg Vanney his thoughts on a comment that Taylor Twellman had made. And Greg, I mean, went from like 0 to 100 like right quick. I mean, covered the Galaxy for a while, covered Greg for a while, and I don't think I've heard him curse in any but like 2 or 3 press conferences, and this man was dropping F bombs like he was Eminem, son. Like I was like, oh shit, Greg is going off right now. What is up? Like I was like, yo, there's gotta be like some personal beef between these two men, because Greg went off. Just a selection of the quote here. Taylor has forgotten, since he's living in the broadcast booth, what it's like to be a player. It's effing hard, and the guy's played effing hard, and he can have whatever opinion he wants. I don't really care, and that's all I'm going to say about that. And I was like, damn, like again, guys, this moment was kind of like had all of us kind of like looking around, like, oh shit, like is Greg like going off right now? Yes, the answer was yes. Jim, what is going through your head when this is happening, man? Like being new to the Galaxy press corps, and let us tell you, like, this doesn't normally happen like this.
Well, between debating who's Greg's favorite announcer, Cobi or Twellman, I think we got an answer right there.
Yeah,
in
for
that
sure.
context, bro, it was wild because Greg is a very professional kind of guy and well-spoken. I really thought like these dudes have a history here. This didn't just happen just because Twellman said something on a broadcast and Greg's because I said it to you like knowing coaches, interviewing coaches, the first thing they always do is sort of stop the controversy, right? Potential controversy. So they would say, I'm not sure what he said on the broadcast. I didn't obviously hear it. I was coaching the game. But if he said that, whatever, or I need to hear it myself. I have not heard that, so I will not comment on that. No, Greg didn't even want it. He took Sophie, a very credible reporter, at her word, 100%.
No.
And he just, it was a lane. She opened a lane for him to drive into because he was as if he was waiting for some sort of moment at some point to come.
Hard in the
There's
paint.
got to be a history between these guys. There's no doubt about it. There's beef. Something happened. We don't know what, either through things that Twellman might have said over the last few years that have bugged Greg that he sort of held in. And last night was the Mount Everest or whatever you want to call it erupted. And it was boiling up for a while. I'm telling you.
Oh, Anandita, you've seen Greg, man, just calm, chill Greg, and then you saw him like this yesterday. What did you think? I mean, did this shatter your illusion of an unflappable Greg, or is it like Jim says? No, there's got to be some deep rooted beef here.
Yeah, I mean, it was for sure. And just for context, too, for everyone that didn't catch it, Joe13 Cool, thanks for putting this in the chat. Twellman said his quote was, even if you lose games being aggressive, it sets the tone, but it doesn't feel like the Galaxy are trying to do that to 90 minutes. And I think part of this might be what Jim said, but I think a lot of this, Rob, and we know this about Greg, like, he will back his players and this organization to the hill. Like, he has such deep roots and connections with this organization. He was a teammate of Cobi Jones. He's very loyal to the LA Galaxy. So, and we've seen it, Rob, like he's been, unfortunately, like during the boycott years, which is, I think that year was probably the last time I heard Greg drop an F-bomb, probably, in a presser, like publicly. I think that, like, that year in particular, when he was wearing multiple hats, like he was being everyone shooting him because he was the messenger, right? But he took it like the loyal man that he is, because he's so loyal and he loves this organization so much. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, he's trying to back his players and this team to the hill, and I think that's, you know, part of what makes his players so loyal to him and what makes him a good head coach in terms of, you know, backing his players to the hill.
Yeah, definitely. We've had interesting press conferences recently, and that's one of them. And it was interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, it really was.
Awesome.
And it was funny because right after he was done with his answer, it's like he went right back to being Greg. Like he brought it right back down to 0. It was like he went from 0 to 100 and then right back down to 0. And he was like, "All right, guys, thank you." And like he took off, and we were like, "Holy shit, did that just happen?" Like, and
I just love that he
anyway,
quote tweeted Alex like right away, and stuff just popped off. So Alex, man, you're the best beef starter with with folks anyway. So.
Yeah, man. I just hope that our friend Alex did make it out of the parking lot safely. So shout out, Prophet Alex. We got your back, man. But yeah, we did let you know, Jim, to go ahead and start thinking of defending with the match candidate. I mean, obviously the easy one could be Marco Reus with the 2 goals, but Anana did bring up an underrated JT Marcinkowski. I really liked Harbor Miller's game, at least aspects of it for sure. And we've also called out a Lucas Sanabria for our player spotlight already. But we're going to let you start it off. It doesn't have to be one of these candidates. You can pick whoever you want. It could literally be Cosmo if you want it to be. And take it away.
I mean, can I say Greg? Because I mean, if that wasn't defending the badge, then it was, right? I mean, he went to bat for the team. He threw F-bombs, and that was a coach who really stood up. Like, I feel when this goes around the locker room, because it will, some people are going to hear about it. Taylor Twellman's a pretty big name, and you hear about the national, the Sunday night game of the week. This is going to come over really well for Greg in the locker room. I think the guys really appreciate a coach that goes to battle. And he's been dropping these tidbits in a sense for a while, saying that the guys are, going through, like, I think I asked him too a previous week about, just a schedule. Is it just sort of an advantage for other teams? And, he's always done it, his guys, saying that, it is tough on them. He really empathizes with his boys, that it is tough. He understands all the travel, the lack of practice, the injuries, that's what you want in a leader in the locker room. That's who guys want to play for and have respect for, that they know at the end of the day, the coach will take a bullet for them. And that's what he sort of did on a big stage here, that, I thought the badge literally put it on his chest, man, because that shows that this team is intact. It's not falling apart, and it's at the top it's strong because there's backing from the coach into his guys.
Nandy, what do you think?
It's really fair, actually. Yeah, it's a really fair point. Yeah, if not him, I'm gonna back the other leader, which we talked to post match, which is Marco Reus. I mean, I'm gonna take the brilliant free kick. I mean, by the way, who thought that he would have been able from that short of a distance to make the ball go up and down and dip so quickly? Not me, because I even called it to you, Rob. I was sitting next to you. I was like, he's got to go. He's probably going to go around the keeper. First of all, we were trying to figure out, okay, Cuevas is standing next to it, Peck standing next to it, and Royce. It's like, nah, Royce is going to take it, but he's going to bend it around instead of up and over. So just ridiculous, right, on the pitch. But we mentioned it earlier, man. Marco, I feel like Marco, well, he said it to us. He said he doesn't talk a lot, but when he does, like, they better listen to him. And not only does he say the right things, but he just has the right mentality. And he also probably, I saw him a lot on I would say the first half more so than the second, but he actually communicated quite a bit with Harbor Miller, Rob. He was trying to point and like sort of like be a traffic controller and like telling guys where to be. And then he also, by the way, like, he remonstrated when the ball was not quality enough, which we saw Harbor Miller in the final third. Marco remonstrated and it was like, this is not good enough, like putting his arms in the air. There was a couple of really interesting moments out there. Like, there was one between JP and Peck when JP didn't pass it to him one time, and Peck was like, dude, what the hell? And then they talked about it and then they hugged it out. Like, there were some really interesting interactions, which goes to your point earlier, Jim, was just like, I feel like this team spirit wise is still intact, but no, for defending the badge, for me, it's Marco Reus. I just think he exudes class on and off the pitch, and that leadership, you can't replace that.
Well, hate to be contrarian, but I gotta go with Jim. That's exactly why I was talking about it earlier. that you might be surprised about who it would be. And then I spoke about Greg because Jim's absolutely right. If that is not defending the badge, then what is? That is taking criticism from a national pundit that has a pretty big platform, at least in MLS circles, and defending his team. And Jim's right. These players are going to hear that, see that, and say, "Oh hell, Greg has our back. We need to have his," and hopefully that translates into more wins, right? So yeah, mine is Greg Vanney as well. Hopefully that doesn't get us canceled. And if it gets us canceled, it's been nice knowing y'all. We do have a super chat from Adam. Muchas gracias, nuestro amigo Adam. Thank you so much, man. He says you might have went over this. Who gets his next statue? You are correct. We did go over this, but happy to recap for you. Jim, I think, went with King Kino for the next statue. Ananda, who do you have for the next one?
Yeah, it's either him or Cien, probably. And then Joe Tutino's got to get in there at some point.
Joe Tutino is probably my first non-player statue, followed by Don Raul as a non-player statue. But if it's a player statue, honestly, it's for me, it's probably going to be Cien.
Yep.
But that's just me. All right, guys. After that win, the Galaxy is now in 10th place after 10 games played. They are on 12 points with 1.2 points per game, a 3-4-3 record, 15 goals for, 16 goals against, a -1 goal differential. And now, after surviving a brutal April, or depending on who you ask, didn't survive, they also go through a pretty difficult May. So 3 road matches and 2 tough home matches, and that's starting next week against last year's Western Conference champions. Jim and also chat, feel free to chime in here, please, por favor, si son tan amables. What do the Galaxy need to do in May for it to be considered a success? I mean, you have 5 games this month, a tough Vancouver team, an Atlanta team that's been kind of middling, Kansas City that already beat the Galaxy this year, but that, let's face it, hasn't been a good team, a Seattle team they always struggle with, and then that Houston team that they always struggle with even more. So what do you think? 15 available points?
10 points. 10 points. And I think, honestly, you're going to have to pull some things out, but Atlanta should be a win because they're just struggling. I mean, they're a gettable team. Vancouver's going to be tough. I think you need payback against Kansas City, man. They should have won that one for sure. That's the one that got away. So that's 6 points there. And you probably draw with Seattle and take 3 from Houston. So that's a beatable team. Like there's a couple of teams that, like, Vancouver and Seattle, very tough, but there's a couple beatable teams there for sure. So if they want to be in the thick of it, they need 10 points because this Western Conference is going to get away really quick. Because the way this is by far already, we know the West is tougher than the East this year. So you're going to have to be really good to stick around. So 10 points, it's going to be a tough task, but I think it's possible, actually.
Jim, one last question before we let you go for the evening, sir. It is receipts time. This is one of those ones that is clippable, and we will come back to you at the end of the season. Jim, is the LA Galaxy, Jim, give me a yes or no. Is the LA Galaxy a playoff team?
They are. I think they're going to make transfer moves in the summer. They're going to get Klaus back. I think they're going to find a second half form here. And it might be after a World Cup, but I think they're going to make a strong run after World Cup. And with a fairly new squad, I think they're going to do some business, and I think they make the playoffs. And I don't even think they make the wild card. I think they get in outright.
Interesting. So, Jim, prophetic, making big calls right now.
That's only 1 point away.
Yeah, I don't like some of the teams ahead of them. Honestly, I don't think Minnesota sticks around. I don't think Salt Lake and Colorado and Dallas is okay. I think they can get ahead of all these teams. The only teams that worry me are the 2 California teams,
top 4, yeah,
and I think San Diego's still gonna make a run for sure, and Seattle's always in the mix. But all those other teams, you can catch them, and I think they will.
Galaxy fans, I know that you didn't love Jim earlier when he was defending Greg Vanney, but you must love him now for saying that, yeah, the Galaxy have a shot and they will catch all these teams and they are a playoff team. So that's hey, a good way to leave it, because Jim, you leave loved now. Instead of before, where you were defending Greg Vanney and everybody was again bringing the pitchforks at you. But one last question before you do go.
Pitchfork still. It's fine. I can handle it. I'm from Chicago. I have tough skin.
Well, I do have one last and final important question, and it is, where can the folks find you? Where what socials, or where's the best place to get you?
Appreciate that. So yeah, on socials at the Jim Alexander. So THE Jim Alexander. So that's on Instagram, TikTok, all the socials, X. And you can find my stuff on YouTube and on a website at Real Talker. So that's REEL Talker, TALKER. So Real Talker, the website, on YouTube, it's Real Talker. So you can see a lot of my content, entertainment content too. Like I said, I cover obviously MLS. I cover the international scope of soccer. So a little bit of everything there, plus entertainment. So if you want to hear more from me, you can find me. If you want to throw pitchforks, you know how to find me. So there you go.
Exactly. Pitchforks, y'all heard where to go. Well, Ananda, I think that brings us to the end of our show. I mean, Galaxy pull out the win. There was, like we mentioned, good and bad to take away from it. They were just one calamitous moment away from letting this one go, but in the end, they get some calls that go their way. Some moments of controversy that usually don't go their way actually do, and they wind up with a 2-1 win. Do you have anything else before we get on out of here?
Yeah, no. Well, first of all, thanks to everyone in chat for joining us. Thanks, guys, for joining us after a win, finally. After a home win as well, because remember, guys, we haven't had a home win. Haven't had a home win since Charlotte, which I believe was in February, so in a couple months. So a momentous occasion for sure. And Baba, it's funny that you talked about like things going the Galaxy's way. I mean, this is the fine margins, right? You think about it. In Columbus, the Galaxy were a Gabriel Peck, post away from a smash and grab with a point. But then in this case, you get the greener side of the luck, right? And you get the rub of the green, you get the decisions go your way, and you get 3 points. So sometimes soccer is like that, but the Galaxy, what they can control is their attitude, their grit, their performance level in this match, at least. Like, we have to see that consistently. And I think the Galaxy fans, if they see that consistently over 90 minutes, over the next few performances, I think they'll start to come around. But again, a lot of work for Greg and this team to do. For sure, for me, like, we look at that schedule, they've got to win their home games. They've got to regain that home form because it has not been good. And this is a good start, though.
I think this is a good comment to go out on. Joe 13 Cool says, yeah, it's nice to see someone who hasn't lost hope. Almost gives me hope. Almost. Jim, thank you for almost bringing hope to these jaded Galaxy fans. We do appreciate you being here.
That's a compliment. That's best they could do. If almost getting hope, I mean, for a Galaxy fan, that's pretty much have hope. So
yeah, man. I mean, you're doing a service for the people. Almost bringing hope. We love it, man, and we've loved having you. Open invitation to come back whenever you'd like. And man, welcome once again to that Galaxy press corps. We love having you around, man. Anandita, is there anything else to add before we get on out of here?
Nope. I just put in the chat. If you guys want to catch more of us, we'll be on COC Network tomorrow night. If not, see y'all back here on Thursday for a preview of when Thomas Muller comes into town and the Vancouver Whitecaps. That should be a fun one.
Yeah, it should. It'll be Miller versus Royce on this weekend. And as usual, next on this humble little podcast called Laguna Galaxiana, on Thursday, April 30th, we'll bring you a Galaxy versus Vancouver preview. So we'll check you guys out on Thursday. And then on Monday, the following Monday, we will, as usual, bring you that match reaction of that match, LA versus Vancouver, and everything that happened over the weekend. And before we get on out of here, I want to say thank you guys once again for being here with us. Thank you to our guest Jim. Thank you to my co-host. Thank you to the Galaxy for a lovely event. And congratulations once again to Cobi for being in español se dice referente, a reference point, just not only a reference point for athletes, but a role model for Black athletes, a role model for young Latino athletes, and honestly, like I mentioned during the podcast, somebody that spoke warmly to a room full of young journalists, and I'll always remember that kindness. So congratulations again, Cobi. You deserve it. Galaxy fans, you deserve the win. You long-suffering Galaxy fans. Until we meet again on Thursday, thank you. And only one thing left to say, right, Ananda?
Dale.
G's up!